This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Hoffman. Today is Wednesday, April the 17th, 2024. We're so glad you could join us. Coming up a little later on the program, we'll run down some news headlines, including some information for Iowa farmers, including the ethanol report, the tenderloin competition from the Iowa pork producers, and some information for our dairy producers. But first, let's go ahead and run down those markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Well, we're at the end of another trading day, and it's time to talk with Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. And Tyler, what did we see coming out of that grain market, first of all, today?
There really wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Not a lot of news driving really anything, so to speak, of just more kind of the same back and forth range bound trade that we've been seeing in corn, beans, wheat. Maybe got hit the hardest today. Really didn't push it too much out of its ranges. It's also been pretty range bound over the last several weeks. Just not a lot of news driving this thing. I would say, the negative, should back up. The good thing for the producers, individual producers, is they've been getting the crop in. Probably going to see some pretty good headway on planting progress coming into next Monday. West of the Mississippi River, they've been making a lot of headway. A little bit of a rain event here early this week, but looks like it's going to dry up. A little bit of a cold front coming through. As soon as it warms up, I would guess next week they'll really go like gangbusters. East of the Mississippi River, a little bit wetter, maybe a little bit delayed on planting, but nothing to cause any concern right now.
So we kind of like that when the grains are kind of quiet and just watching our progress, which is normal for this time of year. But as we move over to that livestock side of things, they've been riding a little bit of a high here a little bit lately. Were they able to keep going up in that upward direction, both cattle and hogs, or what did we see today?
That rally kind of stalled out today. Your feeders are going to close down anywhere from 50 to 25 cents. Fat cattle down that 60 to 10 cents. Your back months saw a little bit of strength, but we had that scare with the avian bird flu in the cattle markets that really shook a lot of long positions out of the market. A lot of fund money and spec money. We went down to some retracement levels, found some support. It feels like this market maybe got a little oversold, especially when you look at cash market prices. Cash prices, whether it's at sale barns on feeder cattle, have remained fairly strong. Cash market on fat cattle has also remained strong. And so there was a little bit of a disconnect there. So it's not really surprising that maybe we've found some support. You've also got a cattle on feed report that's due out Friday. Expectations are for the placement number to be well below last year's placements, as well as marketing. So that's got a few people stepping in, buying the cattle markets here. Every day is another day for headline risks. So I keep coming back to if you've got a lot of cattle, you're unprotected, don't have much of a hedge strategy, use these rallies to add something to help you sleep at night.
Then what about the hog side of the equation? Like I said, they've been kind of riding a quiet high as this whole cattle and bird flu thing has been riding its way forward. I mean, what did the hogs do today?
Hogs ended up just kind of both sides of unchanged. Your June contract closed down about a dime. Your back month contracts closed up 20 to 40 cents. Hogs, especially July hogs, went up to 110 earlier last week, I guess. Get my weeks mixed up. That seemed to be kind of a resistance and stopped the market. And once it failed there, a lot of air came out of that, and we're trading back down to, yesterday we were down to 102 at one point. We closed today at 104. So you've got this hog market is, I would say, overvalued right at the moment. That could change really quick, as cash hogs continue their march higher. That could make those summer month hog contracts decide that we're no longer overvalued. But not surprising to see a little bit of a correction there with some spec money stepping out.
All right. Well, Tyler, if folks out there want to, get some ideas of what they should be thinking about and want to pick your minds there at agmarket.net, what's the best way for them to do that?
Look us up on the internet. Agmarket.net's the website. There's a contact page. You can look up, see if there's a broker in your area.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tyler. We appreciate the insight. We'll talk to you again next week.
You bet. See you, Dustin.
That again was Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and take a look at the closing numbers. You can find those on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network Market tab.
May corn was down 3/4 cent at 4.30 1/4. December new crop down 2.5 at 4.64 3/4. Soybeans for May up 4.5. That was at 11.49 1/2. November new crop up 2 3/4 at 11.61 1/4. Soy meal $3.40 higher at 338.70. Soy oil 9 cents higher at $45 even. Chicago wheat down 12 3/4 at 5.37. Kansas wheat down 14 3/4 at 5.72 3/4. Minneapolis wheat down a nickel at 6.33 1/4, and oats down, up 3 1/4. That was at 3.49 1/4. June live cattle traded 40 cents lower at 175.32. May feeders down 70 cents at 240.27. May lean hogs up 20 cents at 94.92. Pork cutouts unchanged at 101.40. And Class 3 milk was down 14 cents at 17.17.
And that's been a check of our market recap. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, we'll run down some of the top headlines. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AMPM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Let's run down some of our top headlines today. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is inviting Iowans to nominate their favorite restaurant for the 22nd annual Best Breaded Pork Tenderloin Contest. This highly anticipated event allows the public to decide which establishment serves the most delectable breaded pork tenderloin sandwich in the state. Nominations will opened up here today and run through June 3rd. During the period, Iowans can submit their top choice for the best breaded pork tenderloin sandwich. Each person is limited to one nomination, and those who nominate a winning restaurant could have a chance at a $100 prize. According to IPPA Marketing and Programs Director Kelsey Sutter, she said Iowans love their tenderloin sandwiches, and there is no shortage of restaurants serving up this beloved Iowa staple. The 2023 competition nearly broke a record with 10,000 nominations, so they're hoping to see great participation and support for Iowa's restaurants again this year. Iowa is the national leader in pork production, and the breaded pork tenderloin sandwich is a staple in restaurants, diners, and cafes across the state. To qualify for the contest, hand-breaded tenderloins must be a part of the regular menu at the Iowa establishment with consistent year-round hours. Food trucks, concession stands, seasonal eateries, and catering businesses are ineligible for this contest. Following the nomination period, IPPA will send the Restaurant and Food Service Committee members to send out people to review the 40 top restaurants that received nominations. That will include the 5 establishments that did get the top amount of nominations from each of the IPPA's best 8 districts. The leading contenders will then be evaluated by a panel of undercover judges who will visit the locations and rank the tenderloins based on quality, taste, physical characteristics, and overall eating experience. The top 5 will then be unveiled during National Pork Month in June. The winning restaurant will receive a $500 cash prize and a plaque to display at their establishment and statewide publicity. That will be announced during October Pork Month. The runner-up will get a $250 prize and a plaque from the Iowa Pork Producers. Well, the ethanol report came out again for this week, and showing the numbers that came out in the week ending April 12th. Ethanol production slowed 6.9% to a 12-week low of 983,000 barrels per day, or equivalent to 41.2 million gallons per day. Output was 4% less than the same week last year, but 8% above the 5-year average. The 4-week average ethanol production rate decreased 1.4% to 1.04 million barrels per day, which is an annual rise rate of 15.97 billion gallons. Ethanol stocks also were tightened 0.5% to 26.1 million barrels. Still, stocks were 3.1% more than the same week last year and 8.2% above the 5-year average. Inventories thinned across all of the regions except the east and west coasts. And finally, USDA is encouraging Iowa dairy producers to enroll by April 29th in the Dairy Margin Coverage Program for 2024. It's an important safety net program that offset milk and feed price differences. This year's sign-up began on February 28th, and payments and retroactive to January began last month. So far, DMC payments triggered in January and February of 2024 were margins of $8.48 or $8.48 and $9.44, respectively. USDA FSA Iowa State Executive Director Mac Russell says that they encourage producers to join the 473 dairy operations in Iowa that are already enrolled for the important safety net program in advance of the end of the month deadline. At 15 cents per hundredweight for $9.50 coverage, risk protection through DMC is cost effective and a great way to manage risk and provide security for your operation. If you've got any more questions about the Dairy Margin Coverage Program, visit with your local USDA Service Center. And that's been some of the news headlines, and that brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com, as well as on Facebook, X, and on our YouTube channel. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified each time we put out a new video project. Also, don't forget about our 3 times daily market analysis sent free of charge through Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, and Podbean right to your mobile device. You have an option to be notified for the openings, the middays, and the closings. It's all free of charge, and you can even catch them at iowaagnet.com. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Mark Magnuson, Andy Peterson, and Riley Smith, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.